Hi, I'm Robson Green. Now, I know it's been 50 years since the Second World War, but as long as we have men and women serving for their country, the need for Erskine Hospital and the care Erskine Hospital provides, well, that still goes on. See, we have troops serving all over the world, but not just in conflict, but in peacekeeping and caring for those who've been left homeless and without food or water as a result of civil war. You see, the bullet, the bomb and the mine, it doesn't discriminate between age, sex, colour or religion. And when our brave servicemen and women need help, Erskine has always been there to pick up the pieces. It's been there to rebuild the shattered bodies and the shattered minds and the shattered lives.
Well, these two plaques mark the great founding pillars of Erskine. Unsurpassed medical skill and unstinting financial support. And there was plenty of need for both of them because at the end of the First World War, of the tens of thousands of totally disabled British veterans, 1 in 5 was treated here at Erskine. The huge number of amputees caused a desperate shortage of artificial limbs and the skills needed to make them, a problem that was overcome by the hospital's first great surgeon, Sir William McEwen. He recruited the skilled workers of the neighbouring Clydeside shipyards, and soon the Erskine limb had been devised and over 6,000 fitted. It was top-quality work, much of it done by the patients themselves. And it wasn't long before Erskine was fully embarked on its great work of offering hope and rescuing dignity.
One's illusions fill my mind like a sacred flower I have to climb. Changing seasons work their charm, clouding these times of calm. But only you can kiss the pain away, and only you can wish the rains away, and only you know how to make me feel this way.
Duncan Mackenzie spent 5 years in India as a company sergeant major in the Signals. At the age of 72, he was treated for epileptic fits.
The doctors in the Highlands gave me stuff that I was very allergic to, and I ended up with a month in hospital because of the treatment they were giving me.
He was in a wheelchair with big surgical boots. If he hadn't come in here when he did, he wouldn't be alive now. I know that. Erskine is the most wonderful place. We praise it to the skies, to anybody that'll listen.
The new Erskine is taking shape, and there is real progress towards providing a 180-bed centre of nursing care excellence.
It's been described as the biggest move Scotland has ever seen. It's no mean feat moving 180 residents and staff along with their wheelchairs, furniture, hospital equipment and medical supplies. But their 3 months of planning paid off, and despite the upheaval, it all went smoothly. Moving from the old-fashioned Nightingale wards to their new luxurious ensuite rooms was a dream come true for most of the residents.
I realised that this was one of the finest care places in the world, even before we moved up here. But when we moved up here, oh, the sky was all in it. I couldn't believe it. Sheer luxury. Words can't describe it for me. I think it's one of the best places I've ever seen in my life.
The royal family has always been a big fan of Erskine. Set up as an auxiliary hospital, it was established to look after the men who'd lost their limbs in the Great War. 84 years on, and its role is as important today as it was then. In 1994, a strategic review of the hospital's future position highlighted the need to modernise it if it was to survive. The standard of care wasn't in question, but the lack of privacy provided by the old wards wasn't suitable for care in the 21st century. The people of Erskine then got to work at finding a solution and raising the funds.
Prince Charles has a great interest in architecture, and therefore he was very much part of the design development. And at the appropriate stage, we sent him details and a brief from the architect and the landscape architect for his advice. And he gave some excellent advice. Water features, very therapeutic. We have got those, and today I was delighted to be able to introduce them to the landscape architect, show him the architecture, show him the gardens that our men and women now enjoy and look out onto, and he certainly gave it the thumbs up.
What are you all doing hiding over there?
It was a special day for everyone. The Prince, suitably dressed in a Balmoral tartan kilt, had a tour of the building and took time to chat to the residents and staff.
Colonel Gibson introduced me and told I was the longest resident here. And he asked me how long I'd been. I told him 35 years here. And he says, I remember you before.
He just asked if we were busy and what we were doing today, and I said, well, we weren't all that busy because most of the patients were actually waiting to see him. He just laughed and said we would be continuing pummeling people later on, and I said yes, we would be.
Since it started, 60,000 ex-service men and women have passed through the doors of Erskine. Many believed its work would be complete after the Great War, but with the Second World War and more than 90 conflicts involving British troops since 1945, it's clear that their work will be required well into the 21st century and beyond.
The new care centre will be the heart of Erskine, but due to planning restrictions, Erskine must look beyond its traditional boundaries if it's to continue to serve as many ex-servicemen and women as it does now.
Some 2 miles away in Mains Drive, Erskine, we're building a 34-bedded home. This was essential because we were capped at having 180 beds on our new build. And it is very obvious to us, judging by our waiting list and the continuing demand, that we have to have that facility.
The Erskine Town facility will have support from the main site, while fulfilling the concept of taking Erskine Care closer to the community.
They've served in campaigns from France to the Falklands, the Atlantic to the Pacific, and North Africa to Northern Ireland. Today they met the Princess Royal, who officially opened their new home. Erskine Mains has ensuite rooms for 34 residents. The long Florence Nightingale wards are gone.
I was sharing a place, and it wasn't very convenient. This is far more convenient.
Well, your own toilet, everything, which you don't have in the other place.
It's everything's at your hand. You don't have to go looking for anything.
We're right in the community. Life is going on about them. There are school children playing. There are shops nearby. They're all the sort of things that are normal to people, and we want this to be everyone's home.
There's too many altogether, you know. So it's better than your own that way. You know. All the shops about here, that's good as well.
Do you prefer this, the new place?
Oh yes, now that I'm here, because I was 35 years in the other place, in wards. But I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate what the people outside have done.
The first Erskine Hospital opened in 1916. It treated casualties from the Western Front and was a far cry from this state-of-the-art home for today's ex-servicemen and women. The main part of the new hospital will open beside the current building in October. It too will comprise modern ensuite facilities for 180 residents, something of which the lady with the lamp would surely have approved.
At 19 years old, George Collins was little more than a boy when a 500-pound bomb blew up his armoured car in Northern Ireland. His 3 mates were killed.
When I did come here at first, I was in a wheelchair and I don't think I could speak.
Now George and his wife Joy lead a full life in one of the veterans' cottages in Erskine's grounds.
I had to learn to walk and talk and to do everything all over again. How to dress the cell, how to read and write again. And the hospital was great in that. They gave him physiotherapy, occupational therapy every single day. Also gave him employment. So he was made to feel like a useful member of society again and not just somebody flung in the scrap heap. for myself so that I could be with George. They gave us this house.
Most veterans' cottages have been sponsored by charitable organisations. But individuals like Molly Craig have always played a vital role in Erskine's survival. So when you're trying to raise money, Molly, how do you tempt the public to part with their hard-earned cash?
Well, I didn't take cash from them. I made things. I made tablet, I had raffles, sold anything I could get, books, clothes.
How much do you think that you've raised?
I thought it was round about 20 or that, but seemingly it's over 36,000.
£36,000?
Yes.
A lot of money, isn't it?
It is really. Such a lot I could have done with it.
Scots throughout the world have always given their unstinting support to Erskine. Their generosity through donations and legacies is legendary. Today, more than ever, we need that support. Your help in raising funds will go a long way to providing for the future of those who so richly deserve it. Erskine has always believed that a friendly visitor can be the equal of most medicines. By taking its unique care Scotland-wide, those in Erskine Care will be closer to their families and friends.
We're currently considering moving to Inverness, Aberdeen and to Edinburgh. At the moment, Edinburgh is the priority. We are going to build on the south side of Edinburgh to meet demand on the east coast, and that will be complete by summer 2001. Our intention is to take Erskine Care nearer to the homes of people elsewhere in Scotland. We'll then be able to reach out into the rural communities and offer care to the richly deserving ex-servicemen and women who live in those parts.
Please, remember those who sacrificed their freedom so that you can enjoy yours, and think of those who may yet still need your help. It could be somebody you know. It could even be you. Please give generously. Your help is and always will be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Running free with the wild horses. From my dream I awake. Just one wish I hope to make. If I hold you again in these arms when the war is over. Will you stay when the war is over? For a lifetime and then until the world begins again. Well, now I know it's the price of fire to love you like I do in this chain. With the pleasure and the pain, it's nothing more than the price